Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to Old Man Rambles. Today, I'm going to talk about something I didn't think I'd be revisiting. I'm going to talk about the Epstein files for a couple of minutes. Um, it's um, it's been in the news lately. There's a renewed push to get them released to the public. Some documents have been released. I'm probably going to rehash a couple of things I said previously, um, just because I think they're still relevant. But what kind of made me want to talk about this is, of course, the conversations going on around it, partly. Um, just today, I saw someone comment that Obama and Biden had 12 years to release these files and they didn't do anything with them. Why aren't you complaining about that? And it's like, okay, I need to nip that right in the bud. Um, Epstein wasn't arrested until 2019. Obama left office in January 2017. He'd been out of the office 2 years before Epstein was even arrested. So anyone who is saying Obama didn't release the files is an idiot, and is listening to conspiracy theories. Because I mean, that's just not factually possible. Obama had nothing to do with this, as far as the case itself goes. Um, Now, if you want to talk about Biden not releasing the files, because Biden was in the office for 4 years um, after his arrest, I would accept that as valid criticism. Biden did not release the files for the 4 years he was in office. However, I must also point out that Epstein was arrested while Trump was president. Trump had almost 2 years to release the files and did not do so. And Epstein died under mysterious circumstances while Trump was in office. So if you have to be willing to criticize Biden for not releasing the files, you have to also be willing to criticize Trump for his failures as well, which I find a lot of people who are whining about Biden not releasing the files are unwilling to do. So now that I've gotten that out of my system, one of the things that I'm reiterating that I repeated previously is that we're never really going to know 100% what happened. And the reason I feel it needs to be reiterated is that Donald Trump has changed his story so many times in relation to this. He campaigned on releasing the files. He said there's nothing in the files. There is no, is it Pam Biondi said there is no list. When Epstein had a little black book with a list in it, a contact list in it, so there's definitely a list of something somewhere. And now that they're, and now Trump is demanding that Congress release the files. He says he'll sign it as soon as it crosses his desk. He's gone back and forth so many times that, plus the fact that, given the type of person he is, I wouldn't trust that he hasn't made sure his name wasn't scrubbed out of those files. Even the files that we have gotten released recently have names that have been redacted. The files are incomplete that we've been given. There are still people whose names are being protected. We don't know who those names are. One thing that we can say is that Trump's name is mentioned over 15,000 times in the documents that we have. That's a lot. You have to admit that just because his name is mentioned that many times is not proof of wrongdoing. It is suspicious, but no conclusive proof that he actually did anything. Given Donald Trump's past relationship with women, I'm not talking about his actual marriages and girlfriends, women that he's dated. His behavior with women has been one of coercion, deceit, lies, cheating, forcing himself on women. He's been accused of sexual assault at least 30 times, if not. I don't know the exact number. I think it's 34. But so given his past behavior with women and how bad it is not beyond not beyond reason that he would be guilty of the crimes that, um, the people who, you know, were in Epstein's circle are guilty of. We've already had two people who have been brought down because the files have conclusively proved that they behaved inappropriately with underage girls. But yeah, because of Trump's behavior, both in relation to the files and his changing attitudes towards the files, his past behaviors with women, his general, you know, dishonest and vindictive personality, even if the files that we do get kind of clear Donald Trump, I don't know if we can trust that he didn't alter the documents to clear his name. I also don't know why the victims themselves aren't speaking out. I think, but have not been able to confirm, that they are under legal orders not to name names. I think it may have been has something to do with the case itself that was filed against Epstein. Whatever court case went through, I think that the victims are under what do you want to call it? They're under a legal gag order, whatever you want to, however that's the proper legal term is. But they cannot, speak and name names without being sued. There is also the possibility that some of them are afraid of retaliation by some people. So I am not certain why these women are not naming names. But there is something keeping them from doing so. I just cannot confirm what that is. This situation is just a disaster. I mean, given that we, yes, have had two people who have been brought down by this, these men escaped justice for decades. I mean, Prince Andrew is a prime example of that. This man hid behind his wealth and his position to get away with basically statutory rape. And if not for these documents being made public, he would have continued to get away with it. I have mentioned Donald Trump, but Bill Clinton's name is on there. Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones' name is present in these documents. Noam Chomsky. Some of these names surprise me. Noam Chomsky is one of them. But this man moved in powerful circles with the rich, with the powerful and famous and the wealthy. Epstein was, a party magnate who just was known for throwing the best parties, and people flocked to his parties because they were wild and decadent. So, again, the names being there are not like Trump's. Those names being there are not a concrete proof of guilt. But that this man was such a predator of young girls, and so many people were in his orbit. So many rich, famous, powerful people. Saudi princes. A Saudi prince named who was just recently a guest at the White House is mentioned in those documents. So this is just a disaster. It is proof that people use their wealth and privilege to get away with abhorrent and appalling things. And it is just so difficult to get justice against those type of people. And I don't, even if Trump is 100% innocent, which I don't know if I can ever believe because of the reasons I've already mentioned, I don't know if we will ever be able to really give these young women the justice they deserve. How many of these wealthy, powerful people will still be able to escape justice for what they have done? And it's just a mess that I hope we can get through as well as possible. and I hope for justice and healing for the victims of these crimes. Good hunting.